for boundaries is that. And I just wanted to recap that. Also, it's the framework we set for ourselves on how we want to be treated by others and how we treat other people. Boundaries work both ways. And I had said that we would break down setting boundaries because sometimes when people are narcissistic or consumed by manipulation, consumed by pride, they can say they're setting a boundary and really they're not. They're just being controlling. So there is a difference, and I just want to break that down today. There is a fine line in setting a boundary. Jesus communicated clear boundaries for how and with whom he would do life while here on earth. When you go back and you read how Jesus communicated the entire time that he was here, he did not play. He did not have time to waste with manipulators, with narcissists, with religious people. He just didn't have time for any of that. Let's talk about personality types that may lack boundaries. Codependency. People pleasing. I got slapped in the face with that one. Unassertive. So they have a difficulty asserting needs. Prioritize others before themselves. You know, those people pleasing. They will do any and everything for everybody else and then forget to make time for themselves. And then what does that lead to? It leads to us feeling overwhelmed and then resentful. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. You will have a full day. And then, for example, people will call, they'll need you to do things. Moms, we definitely know how this feels. And we'll do all the things. And then we'll sit back and say, well, wait a minute. I feel empty. Who's going to refresh my cup? Who's going to help me? Who's going to be there for me? Yeah. We have to set boundaries on our yes. We have to set boundaries on what our yes looks like. Example, I can assist you here for this amount of time. I will be happy to be a part of this, but this is what I can assist with. You know, it's a joke, but it's not a joke because I'm always overbooking myself. I overcommit because I have to remind myself that there's a fine line between people pleasing. And so what has that gotten me? The label of always being late. I don't just be sitting and, just twiddling my thumbs. I literally multitask. And so it always runs over into somebody else. And so I had to take a hard look at myself and say, Tiff, your yes without boundaries is giving you a negative character reflection. Nobody wants to perceive that they're always late. And so I had to practice that, and I'm in the midst of practicing that because I'm like, no, that's not it. Because when you're late, people say that's inconsiderate. In our healing class, we learned that is a symptom of anger, and so it's rebellion. And so I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be perceived as that. So I had to take a hard look at myself and say, my people pleasing is causing me to multitask in an unproductive way. That's just an example. And so that leads to feeling overwhelmed because then you're late. That leads to feeling resentful because now people have an opinion of your time management, not knowing, baby, I'm doing more than you do in a whole day. But anyways, so with that being said, those are just examples of the types that may have an issue with setting a boundary. And on the reverse side of that, they may have an issue with someone setting a boundary with them. Not a major one because they're going to understand. Ephesians 4:15 says this, people of God, speaking in truth in love. Pause. Speaking the truth in love. Some of us will say, I keep it real. I'm real. I just tell it like it is. But is it in love, though? Are your words respected, though? Do people really want to deal with you, with your realness? Think about that. Again, Ephesians 4:15 says this: speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into Him who is the head, into Christ. Speaking in love, grow in Him. Ephesians 4:15. The personality types that may push boundaries. Low self-esteem, self-serving. Have y'all been or dealt with that type of personality? A low self-esteem personality, a selfish, self-driven, personality, or even a narcissist? Have you had to endure that season? Well, we understand they may have an issue with setting boundaries. So let's talk about how we can communicate with those types of personalities. And I know you're like, Tiff, you're an encourager. Well, honey, this is in the church. The church is the saints' hospital. So if we're naive to the fact that it is multiple personalities coming into the saints' hospital, then we're just naive. And we have got to learn how to coexist while having a healthy heart posture, because there is no conflict in heaven. There is no animosity in heaven. There are no games, women of God, men of God, in heaven. We see it all the time. People will have cliques but say they love everybody. People will leave certain people out but say they love everybody. And God is like, oh yeah? And you think I don't see that? None of that is in heaven. When you are dealing with people that possibly will have an issue with boundaries, be very direct and specific with those types. But hold on. See, we don't just do it according to how the world tells us to do it. Then we go back up to Ephesians 4:15, and we make sure that we are able to do it in love. Tiff, what does that mean for me? That means you may have to pull back and pray and lay it at the feet of the Father for an hour, 24 hours, 48 hours. Let Him dwell with you. Let Holy Spirit be Lord in you. But make sure that you're not adding additional conflict to the already hard situation. And then when you're able to say it in love, reach out respectfully and start the conversation. But when you start the conversation, know that you are to be very direct, very specific, and in love. And I believe sometimes we miss that as humans. We are missing the love part of it. People know when you are speaking from a place of love or from a place of hate. Y'all, I have testimonies that really don't matter. But when I tell you that I have had to deal with personality types that are pure evil, peace irritates them. They're self-centered. They're malicious. They're miserable. They're sin sick. They're resting in darkness. And all I could do was just say, Father, I am in it and not of it. And I trust you to give me the strength to flow in love. Because I want to continually rest in your light. I want my heart posture to be vertical in you, because I'm just passing through here. When I close my eyes, I am either going to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant, or depart from me, you worker of iniquity. I don't want to hear depart from me. So I'm not going to let misery, I'm not going to let hate consume me and play with my heart posture, and I miss heaven.